A soft summer breeze swept through the heart of Copenhagen, but the true enchantment on Saturday, June 21st, wasn't in the air, it was in the hearts of those gathered at Tivoli Gardens. The iconic Pantomime Theatre, nestled in one of Europe's most storied amusement parks, was glowing not only with the anticipation of its timeless performances but also with a palpable sense of royal presence. For on this particular evening, something rare, something deeply personal, and something undeniably captivating occurred. Queen Margrethe and her sister, Princess Benedikte, graced the stage not as performers, but as symbols of enduring legacy, shared memory, and quiet resilience. It was an evening that will be remembered not just in the context of royal engagements but as a poetic statement of grace and kinship. The audience buzzed with whispers and awe as the two royal sisters appeared, an appearance that was more than ceremonial. Queen Margrethe, now having stepped away from the Danish throne but not from the cultural life of her nation, walked with the dignified ease of someone at home, both in the physical space of Tivoli and in the cultural fabric of Denmark itself. Princess Benedikte, her ever-elegant sister and confidant, stood by her side in a presence equally meaningful. Together, they were not only attending two beloved performances, Clumsy Hans and the re-premiere of Cinderella, but they were symbolizing continuity, creativity, and familial harmony, quietly powerful forces often missing in today's fractured public narratives. This wasn't merely a night at the theater. For those attuned to the significance of Tivoli in the Danish royal story, this moment was packed with reverence. The Pantomime Theatre, an open-air stage with its classic Chinese-inspired architecture, has long been more than just a performance space for Queen Margrethe. It has been her sanctuary of expression, her canvas, and in many ways, her emotional retreat. For decades, Queen Margrethe has not only designed costumes for performances here but immersed herself in its stories, crafting visual worlds that bridged classic fairy tales and contemporary imagination. Her contributions to Danish arts are not honorary, they are deeply personal. They stem from a place of real artistic labor and passionate commitment, something rarely seen among modern royals. To see her return now, after her emotional abdication in January, alongside her beloved sister, was to witness more than protocol. This was about legacy, about revisiting a chapter she wrote with her own hands and heart. Clumsy Hans, one of Hans Christian Andersen's lesser-known yet humorously poignant tales, is a story about individuality, creativity, and defying expectations, much like the former queen herself. Cinderella, in its re-premiered glory, echoes transformation, resilience, and grace under pressure. Could there be any two performances more fitting for this moment? The symbolism of these stories did not go unnoticed by the Danish public and royal watchers alike. While the young generation of royals now takes the reins, King Frederik X and Queen Mary leading the Danish monarchy forward, it is this image of Queen Margrethe and Princess Benedikte seated side by side that deeply resonated. There is something hauntingly beautiful about a sovereign who has stepped down but refuses to disappear. She hasn't retreated into obscurity, rather, she's chosen to step further into the cultural landscape she has shaped for so long. That evening, she was not a former monarch, she was an artist, a storyteller, a sister, a woman rooted in love for her heritage. Observers couldn't help but notice the soft exchanges between the sisters, the gentle smiles, and the unspoken communication that can only exist between two people bonded by a lifetime of shared duty and private pain. This was the same duo who stood united during some of the most trying periods of the Danish monarchy, including their father's death, their mother's years of declining health, and the changing tides of public opinion. They have always represented a quieter strength within the royal family, a counterpart to the more publicized roles of their children and grandchildren. Queen Margrethe, known for her dramatic flair and vibrant artistic sensibility, wore an outfit that paid homage to the theater's festive charm, bold yet understated, regal but never ostentatious. Princess Benedikte's attire mirrored her elegance and timeless grace. Their fashion, as always, told its own story, one of dignity, of refinement, of knowing that their presence alone could light up the event more than any stage prop or spotlight. The Danish media covered the outing with a blend of nostalgia and reverence, noting that the Queen's reappearance at Tivoli was like a beloved character returning to the pages of a cherished book. International press highlighted the rare sighting of the sisters together in such a public yet intimate setting, framing it as a testament to the soft power the Danish royals wield through culture rather than politics. In the crowd, many were moved to tears. Some were children experiencing their first encounter with the magic of pantomime. Others were older Danes, who remembered Queen Margrethe's first forays into costume design and her lifelong commitment to keeping Denmark's artistic traditions alive. For them, this night wasn't just entertainment. It was history, it was memory, it was a reunion of past and present, of queens and commoners, all held together by the unifying power of storytelling. Backstage, whispers among performers and theater staff told of the Queen's warmth and familiarity. She greeted costume designers by name, commented on fabric choices, and marveled at new stage mechanics. Princess Benedikte, more reserved but equally warm, chatted with dancers and thanked the performers. It was not a fleeting visit, it was a return to a world where both sisters clearly felt they belonged. The theater wasn't simply hosting royals that night, it was welcoming home two of its most passionate supporters. What made this event even more extraordinary was its timing. Just a few weeks earlier, speculation had circulated in certain circles about Queen Margrethe's retreat from public life. Some wondered whether her abdication meant she would slowly fade from cultural and artistic affairs. Saturday's outing provided a resounding answer: absolutely not. If anything, this appearance was a bold affirmation that her heart remains tethered to the soul of Denmark. Through theater, she finds not only joy but relevance. And through her bond with Princess Benedikte, she continues to model a brand of royalty rooted in substance, not spectacle. Social media lit up with images and clips from the evening. Hashtags like #Margrethe returns and #Royal Sisters trended across Denmark. Younger generations, who perhaps hadn't seen the Queen in such a vivid setting before, began sharing her illustrations, her ballet sketches, her costume work, rediscovering her legacy as more than a former monarch, but as a creative powerhouse who transcended the limitations of a crown. As the curtains closed and the applause roared across the open theater, there was an overwhelming sense of gratitude in the air. Not just for the performances, but for the presence of two women who embody the richness of a royal house that continues to evolve while honoring its past. This was more than a royal event. It was a reaffirmation of cultural stewardship, of sisterhood, of what it means to serve beyond the throne. As Queen Margrethe and Princess Benedikte made their way out of the theater, the audience lingered, reluctant to let go of the magic they had just witnessed. Cameras flashed, children waved, older attendees stood in silent admiration. And in that fleeting moment, bathed in the soft evening lights of Tivoli, Denmark was reminded of the enduring legacy of its royal women. Not just in crowns and titles, but in stitches of silk, lines of dialogue, and shared moments of heartfelt theater. As the world watches the Danish monarchy transition into a new era under King Frederik, it is moments like these, quiet, dignified, steeped in emotion, that illuminate the unbreakable bond between past and present, between stage and sovereign, between queen and country. So what does this unforgettable royal appearance at Tivoli tell us about the future of Queen Margrethe's role in Denmark? Will her love for theater and culture continue to inspire future generations of the royal family and the nation at large? Don't forget to like, share, and comment your thoughts below. Subscribe for more powerful royal moments that captivate hearts and carry the legacy of royalty into the future.